All right, we are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are live in the Daring Dream Team group, and we are recording our weekly Saturday training. We've got a special power couple guest joining us this morning, so I'm excited about that. I figured we were going to be a little bit light on people being here today because I know there's so many people that are at the Charlotte Road Show this weekend, and that's awesome. That is awesome. But I think it's important that we continue to train because we're getting so much growth on the teams, and people need to feel like they're getting the information and the training and the leadership that will take them to the next level. So I want to say a few things here. And then I'm going to jump right into introducing our power couple. I see their smiley picture face there. And we will take it from there. So, and I've made, Carlos is helping out as a co-host. I'm actually going to make this couple a co-host too, just in case they need to share screen or do anything super phenomenal like they always do. So a couple of things real quick. One is, again, if you haven't been to a road show, I was blessed and honored to meet this couple in person at the Nashville Road Show. It was pretty phenomenal. We had an amazing time. But they're broken down, for those of you who haven't gone to one yet, they're broken down in two sections. The morning section is for your prospects. They go through the compensation plan, they go through the opportunity, they go through the products, they go through the company, they go through the 5 pillars of what this company is all about. And they talk about all the products and everything else. In the afternoon, after lunch, they switch to training. So your prospects not only get to see the power of where this company is, but they get to see the amazing training and leadership that we have in the company. So in the afternoon, you get training from people like Aaron Parker, Andre Popa, Candace Burr-Davies, Chris Robbins, Chris Baum. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. There's a leadership panel with some of the leaders that are up on the stage chatting and answering questions and so forth. So it is well worth your time to get there, but it's even more important that you get prospects there, okay? Prospects and people on your team there. Roadshows. There's still a half a dozen probably or more left before we get to October, which is the convention. The other thing is, I want to remind everybody that we have an incredible amount of assets within the Dream Team and within the Power Team and the Vision Team. If you are not utilizing the Daring Dream Team YouTube channel for just getting training and teaching your team and answering questions, please, please, please go out there for 2 reasons. One is it makes you much more duplicatable. I can't tell you how many times during the day people will reach out to me with a question, and all I do is send them the link to a YouTube video, 3 or 5 minute video that answers their question for them. All right. Now, why is that important? It's important because, first off, I've done over 100 training videos on that YouTube channel, and it becomes very easy for you then to become duplicatable, and your team members feel like, okay, wow, I can do that. I can send them a video. They don't feel like they have to know everything. Remember, that's what we teach everybody. Those 3 little words. I don't know, but I know where you can find a resource or a video that'll show you all that you need to know. That'll teach you everything you need. Some of the videos are a lot longer and they encompass a bunch of different areas. So if somebody's interested in the comp plan or wanting to see the presentation maybe, or wanting some detail on 2 or 3 different items, there are different videos. But most of them I've started over the past months breaking them down into just little 3 to 5 minute snippets on all kinds of things, from how to do a Facebook Live to what's your enroller tree all about and things like that. So I encourage you to go out to the Daring Dream Team, subscribe to the channel, and then click on the little alarm bell. It's a little bell. It looks like kind of the Liberty Bell there, so that you'll get notifications, because every time I upload one, you'll get a little notification saying, Ron uploaded a new training video and so forth. And you can search on it by just going to YouTube and search on Daring Dream Team, and that channel will come up, and then you can subscribe to it. But there's a ton of training and assets there and resources there for you to use to train your team, to teach them that they don't have to be the deal. They don't have to answer all the questions. They've got all that stuff in there for them. Okay. And the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that every time you bring someone in, you add them to the Facebook groups, but even more importantly, you add them to our messenger bot. Because that messenger bot is going to take them through 5 days of how to get started, what groups to join, what videos to watch, where to send people. And I'm going to be taking today and tomorrow, and I'm going to be updating that process to take into account the Power Team system and all kinds of different things, right? But if you get them in that bot, then they'll know what groups to go to ask to be a part of and what groups to go to use and so forth, okay? So 2 things, the messenger bot and our Daring Dream Team YouTube channel. Obviously, the Daring Dream Team Facebook group, we're putting all of our announcements in there all the time and so forth. But in fact, the first thing that people see when they go to that Facebook group is how to join the bot and how to get into the bot. The reason I love the Facebook bot is because every time I send out a message through the Facebook bot, it shows up on their phone in their face. So they get it. They get the announcement. They find out what they need to do, and it's right there in front of them, and they can react and they can respond to it and so forth. I'm adding some cool things like AI to that messenger bot where people can type in the wrong word and still get a good answer, right? Things like, when's our training? And it'll come up and tell you when the training is, because it's going to be learning and understanding all that stuff. So it's going to be something that's going to be really, really cool as I, develop it and get it further along and everything. But you've got to get the people into it first, okay? And it'll be a great training asset. So they can go in there and say, go to the bot and just say, what's the compensation plan? And it'll come up and tell them, go here to watch this video. And there'll be a link to that video and things like that. So, okay. One last thing, and then I'm going to let our superstars take over here. And I'm excited because I don't know what they're going to talk about.
Hey, Ron, quick question. On that messenger bot, can you clarify if it's 5 days? I thought it was Tara Scary's 14 days of daily tasks.
No, it's actually 5 days that I put together to get them started. And then I added her first 7 days onto that. And I'm going to modify that a little bit. And update it and so forth. So it actually starts one sequence of 5 days, and then it automatically puts them into the next 7 days of sequence. But I'm going to kind of modify those all into one that'll take them through everything they need. So, and again, it's real easy. DaringDreamTeam.com/bot. How easy is that, right? DaringDreamTeam.com/bot, and that'll get you started and registered.
Guys, I will post it in the chat right now. I'll post a link in the chat.
See, I don't know what I'd do without Carlos. He is the man. So actually, two things. One and two real quick things. Robert Hollis, an amazing man. But Robert Hollis and Matthew and Robert Jr. Have opened up their training and everything they do. It used to be that
just 1 week.
Oops.
Yeah, I took care of it, Ron. I took care of it.
Okay, good, thank you. Yeah, when you come in, if you're not muted, please mute initially, just because we're recording it and everything, and that way it keeps it cleaner. But what he's done is, it used to be he had 2 programs. He had the Tribe program, which was $19.99 a month, and he had the Inner Circle, which was $99 a month. And you're not going to believe this when I tell you this, but phenomenal training, all recorded, all kinds of assets that you get along with the weekly training. The Tribe training is Saturdays at 11 o'clock Pacific time, so it's about 2 hours from now. And the Inner Circle was every Tuesday at 3 o'clock Pacific time. And it's just phenomenal training. Well, starting this month, the Tribe is free. The Tribe is free. And Carlos is going to put a link in the chat so that everybody knows how to get signed up for Robert Hollis's free Tribe training. It's totally free. That's amazing in itself. This month only, the Inner Circle. Remember, I told you myself and Carlos and a number of other people have been paying $99 a month to be a part of the inner circle. And Robert's goal on the inner circle is to get everybody that's in the inner circle to super affiliate, basically. He's teaching us how the best of the best, right? This month, the inner circle is $19.99. If you sign up for Robert's inner circle this month, it's $19.99 a month, and it's grandfathered in. It will stay that way. Now, it's going up to, at the end of the month, starting next month, it goes up to $39.99. So it's still, $60 a month different than what we were paying, right? If you're already in, it goes down to $19.99. If you're not in the inner circle, it's $19.99 a month. And let me tell you, all of the other assets and all of the other resources and all of the other training that he has in there outside of just the weekly training are worth thousands of dollars. Things like the science of getting rich, his millionaire mindset, or I forget the name. It's called the millionaire something. There's so many things in there that you're going to get all for free along with that for $19.99. So please look at that. The links are in the chat. We'll talk about how you can save the chat if you didn't get the links, but I would, as soon as you get a chance, click on the links and then bookmark those pages and you can check them out later, okay? Last but not least, we're at the middle of the month. We've got 3 or 4 more days before we actually hit the middle of the month, and this is typically a dip. I don't want that to happen this month. So I want you all to just reach out to anybody and everybody that's on your team. Make sure they know that let's get our auto ships in. If you're going to do the business, you need to do an auto ship, whether it's an auto ship on the auto side of the auto ship or it's just you purchase products every month. But you've got to do that. If you're going to stay active in the business, you've just got to do that. So why not delay it? Why do it at the end of the month? Let's get it done before the 15th. Everybody gets your orders in before the 15th. If you've already got your order in, you're good to go. But let's make July different than the rest of the months. Every network marketing company I've ever been with, there's always this
table he built downstairs
on volume, right? And I don't know why that is. I don't know why we have, because usually the 15th of the month is a payday for a lot of people, but it always happens that way. So I'm encouraging you all, reach out to your team, reach out to everybody that you're working with that's in the business, whether they're doing 40 BV or 90 BV or just buying periodic product to your customers or whatever. Let's make this, instead of a dip, let's make this a big mountain on the next 3 days. Push your team up, push the leaders up, push the people. Let's get a bunch of people to hit 1,000 BV in their business before the 15th of the month, so they're able to look forward to 2,000 and 3,000 and 4,000 by the end of the month. But if we don't do it by the middle of the month, it makes it that much harder, and everybody's scrambling at the end of the month. Every single month, at the end of the month, that's when the scramble starts. So let's do something different. We know what everybody else is doing. Robert always says this, right? Find out what everybody else is doing and do exactly the opposite. So we know what everybody else is doing. They're not doing anything in the middle of the month and they're waiting until the end of the month. Let's not do that. Let's everybody get your orders in. Reach out to your team because your whole team is not here. We've got 35 people here and they keep showing up. But we've got 3,000 people on the team, right? So not to mention the Puco's team, some of their people are on here, and they've got probably 10,000 people on their team. I don't know. But the reality is that we need to change how the months go in our business. We need to make the month go up like this, and if anything, it mellows out at the end of the month because we've already got all that momentum going, and it continues. What we really want is just to continue to go up, okay? So all of that said, I'm just so excited. This month is going crazy. It's doing better than ever. Great book, Wayne. That is an amazing book, Shackled to Free. Without further ado, now I met this, and I apologize, my puppy is in the background raising havoc, but that's what 70-pound, 4-month-old puppies do, I guess, when they're not eating my arms. I met this couple quite a few months ago, just online for the first time. Fell in love with their accents. I'm an East Coaster, so I love the East Coast. I used to have a place up in Long Island, so anytime I can hear a good, New York accent. I love it. I think they're the top team on Terra Scaries. They're 25K affiliates on their way to 50K affiliates this month. They got an amazing team that they're growing. They understand the value of not only impacting lives and helping lives, but helping their team and building their team and speaking into people's lives, doing training for them, and being in the trenches every single day building their business. I was honored and blessed to meet them in person in Nashville a few weekends ago, and it was incredible. It was incredible. Now, maybe I'm an old funny daddy, but I don't have the energy to go out and party like they all did, and it looked like they had a lot more fun than I would have been able to have. I probably would have needed more stints after that, but they looked like they had a great time, and it was just amazing. So, without further ado, please allow me to introduce to you all the Daring Dream Team training group here. Mrs. and Mr. Puco, Jay and Michelle, please take it away and give us what you have for us.
Hey, thank you so much, Ron.
Thank you, guys.
Oh my God, there was a place that I wanted to start at, and Ron touched on so many things that I was jotting down notes left and right. The first thing I want to say is this: even though Ron didn't meet us until just a couple of months ago, we had been following him and Carlos. Actually, you guys were like one of the first couple of people that we saw coming in that we paid attention to. So we've been following you guys long before you knew who we were. So thank you for that, because you gave us tons of inspiration and motivation and all kinds of golden nuggets along the way. And we kept taking them and applying them. So thank you for that. The other thing that I wrote down, because, okay, so I'm looking, so now there's 36 people on here. And this is what I want to say to the 36 people that are on here. You rock, and you are going to succeed. You absolutely must train to grow. You must. And for those of you that are coaches and have a team beneath you, we always say they're alongside of us. So under you, beside you, however you phrase it, it's imperative that you motivate them and inspire them to show up to these trainings. You will see as coaches that the people that show up to the training, I'm getting goosebumps already. The people that show up to the trainings are the people that are going to succeed, and you're going to watch those people succeed. And I'm seeing faces on here of people that I know have been, working hard and have maybe started as a sample pack buy-in and have worked up to executive and are continuing to grow and build a team. And it's an incredible thing to be a part of. And that's one of the best things for us coming into this. I always say that we all start on this journey for ourselves, for what it can do for us. And it very quickly turns into what we can do for others. So, our team knows that, we are always there for them. We are there to push them, to pull them, to love them, to hug them. Even if it's a virtual hug, that's part of what we do, because we've heard their stories, and we all have it. We all have our story. We all have a reason why we looked into this in the first place. Some of us, it's the first time doing anything online, and something, came across your news feed and you thought, hey, this looks pretty cool, and let me check it out. And then got inside and found out it was way better than cool. And some of you have been, working online in the past. And so you knew that this was going to be something that was going to be a big boom and wanted to be a part of it. But either way, your coaches want nothing more than to see you grow and succeed. 5K, 10K, 25K. I see the long term, and I see everybody on my team hitting that 100K spot, that 250K spot. And that is my goal, our goal, every day in every training that we do, is to get those people there. And I mean, obviously with that comes our success, but that's not
real quick. I just want to say, when we get on these Zooms like this, it's not always, you call it a training, but it's not always a training. It's a connection.
Yes.
It's connecting with your team all together, kicking stories around, motivation and things like that. It's not always about, this is how we're going to go into Messenger and stuff like that. So it's all about the connection with your team. Very important.
Yeah. And for those of you that have a team that don't do some type of a weekly connection, super important for you guys to connect with your team and keep them as a team and motivate and inspire each other. It's very hard to do anything in life if you're just doing it by yourself. I mean, you can be the greatest network marketer in the world, but if you're out there doing it alone and you have no support and no team, surrounding yourself with great minds, it's going to make it that much harder. And I see people struggle that are out there trying to do this on their own without their team. And not to say that they won't succeed. They may, but it's so much easier when you're surrounded by people that work the way you work, see what you see, motivated by the same things that you're motivated by. So super important to connect every week. All right, so I'm gonna, jump into a little bit about what got Jay and I here, and and then we can go from there. So Jay and I have had, a couple of our own businesses. I'm a court reporter. I have my own court reporting business. Jay is in construction, and he's had a few different construction companies, all successful. We lived in New York our whole lives, born and raised. All our family is there. And for many, many years, I said I wanted to move to Florida. I love the sunshine, the palm trees. It really excites me when I get to walk out the front door in the morning and the sun is out and the palm trees are everywhere. And it does it for me. So for many years, that was what I wanted. And so we had a construction business that this guy built from ground zero. He was working for a company, and right before Christmas, like maybe 2 weeks before Christmas, the owner of the company said, no money, no jobs, goodbye, and thank you for everything you've done for us. And we were like, what the heck? Like, what do you do with that, So him and his best friend, that also works for the company, were like, let's hustle, let's make something happen. And that they did. So we literally started with $0 because he didn't get paid. And they went out and they started doing small jobs, taking whatever they could get. And this is the thing that most people don't want to do. You do what you have to do, no matter what. You take what you can get and you make the most of it. And so that's what they did. And they went out and they started with these little baby jobs or underbidding jobs just to get some kind of, money coming in. And from there, they built a multi-million-dollar company. And if anybody is familiar at all with the construction business, you would know that you never get paid in full. They always find some kind of a reason to keep some of your money. Well, we never had a job that we did not get paid in full. And he was refacing, what's the word? He was doing building restoration in skyscrapers in Manhattan. It's near impossible to get paid in full on a job like that, but they did. So he definitely built up a beautiful business. And so we got to the point where my son was coming down to Florida for college. And I was like, this is it. This is my moment to get down to Florida. So we reached out to our contractors and we said, hey, we're going to move down to Florida. A lot of them were doing work down here because Lord knows they're building everywhere. And so we started setting some stuff up with some contractors down here in Florida and moved down to Florida. So about 2 months after we got here, we woke up one morning. Now, I actually stopped my court reporting business because I couldn't do both businesses. It became way too much. So I had stopped court reporting. And so our sole income was our business. So we came down to Florida. And about 2 months after we got here, Jay woke up one morning. He's like, hey, Michelle, I'm having some trouble getting into the bank account. Can you try it? So I went to go in, couldn't get in. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Called the bank. I'm like, what's going on? Well, turned out our partner wiped us out literally overnight. Everything was gone. The bank accounts were gone. The jobs were gone. All the checks that should have been coming to us, because I did the bookkeeping, so the checks, everything was being forwarded to Florida. Everything was stopped. The contractors were like, we don't know what's going on. So-and-so told us, he's going to take the checks from now on. Tools were gone. Supplies were gone. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment. Everything was gone. He put them in a storage with a code that Jay couldn't get into. It was literally overnight. Everything was gone. So, when you wake up like that, that's just like, if you could get punched in the gut as hard as possible, like that's it. You wake up, you have children, you have a family, and everything is gone. And so we spent a couple of months. It was, at first you're like, oh my God, like what can we do to fix this? So of course, we reached out to attorneys, and because I'm in the field, I knew attorneys, and I reached out to them, and they said, listen, he said, send me everything. So of course I sent him everything. And he was like, all right, so here's the thing. We're going to need to bring in a lot of experts. It's going to cost a lot of money, which you no longer have. So I suggest you live on what you have and get yourselves back on your feet rather than jump into an expensive lawsuit, which is going to require all these experts, CPAs, and all this, legal fees and all this other stuff. So that's what we had to do. We were forced to
Start over.
Like really start over in a new state, no friends, no connections. I mean, the connections that we made were big contractors with big contracting jobs, which we could never have done starting back at zero. So Jay scrambled, he went out and started working, doing what he does. And I went back to court reporting. And as all you guys know, life keeps moving. Whether we move or not, life keeps going. And you could either jump in and run with it, or you're going to keep falling further and further behind. And so we did fall further and further behind for months. It was extremely depressing. It was like, there was literally a day where I laid down on the kitchen floor. And I was like, I can't do this. So anyway, it was bad. And meanwhile, we had children. So you don't want them to see what's going on. You don't want them to know what's going on. And listen, this is when I say we all have our story. Every one of us had that moment. Doesn't have to be the same moment as mine, but we all have that moment in our lives where we don't know, how do we move forward? So I kept saying, Jay, are we going to be okay? He kept saying, yep, we're going to be fine. And I was like, okay, Jay, we're going to be okay? Yep, we're going to be fine. So one day he comes home, and now we probably didn't smile in months. Christmas came and went. It was pathetic. It was just terrible. You start doing all kinds of crazy things just to get by, right? Just to go food shopping, just to keep the lights on, all this crazy stuff. So Jay comes home one day, about 5 months later, and he's all excited. Like, what the hell are you so happy about? What are you smiling for? And he's like, I think I found something really great. And I was like, oh, no. And he's got his phone in his hand. And I know that's trouble. When Jay comes in and he wants to show me something on the phone, I'm like, uh-oh, we're really in trouble now. So he comes in and he's like, I want you to take a look at something. I found something online, and I think that it's going to be great. I think it can be great, and I think that we should look at it. And this is not the first time he came home with this story. So usually by the time he came home, he either already spent $100 to buy in. And then once I called back, there was no connection. The line was gone. Or, but I would look into it and rip it apart. I would get online and I would, Google them and search everything. And I'm like, nope, not spending any money on this. So I looked at it and I was like, this actually looks like something that, could actually work. So we looked further and further, and then we jumped in. And I'm going to tell you this, guys. It involved money to get started. It involved money regularly every single month to maintain. A lot of money. It was not an inexpensive opportunity that we jumped into. We put ourselves further in debt by joining, but I will tell you this. Most of the people that we met in those beginning months when we first started, who looked at us and saw us so happy. And the reason why that was because we actually had hope. We knew we spent money to join. We knew we were spending money every month to stay there. But we had hope, and we surrounded ourselves by people like you guys. Everybody here, we surrounded ourselves with people just like you that showed us, hang in there. Better days are coming. And they did. It's never a quick process when you're starting a business. It doesn't matter if it's online or offline. It takes time. You have to believe in yourself 1,000%. You cannot let any single person, even if it's your spouse, your mother, your sister, whoever, you cannot let them deter you from what you can do, because every single one of you can. Listen, I say this all the time. If we were able to do it, anybody can do it. I wasn't tech savvy. He was a little bit better than I was. So I was always like, Jay, what do I do here? Jay, how does this go? But we did it. And it was instantly our mindset was what changed. Before we made $1 and we were happy.
Actually in the hole. $100 to start, right?
Right. Well, yeah, $100 plus what we had to buy in for product, which was $1,000. We used 2 credit cards to get going.
But we were happy.
Because we finally saw a way. We saw something that was going to take us to better days, and we surrounded ourselves by the greatest of people. And we did that for like almost 2 years. And we did well there. We really did do well there. But again, it was a lot of money to keep it going. So even as we were making money, it still wasn't really, we're never really making money because we were investing so much money every month. And then HempWorks came around and we thought, now this is a no-brainer. Coming from where we came from, we looked in here and guys, this is the God's honest truth. I saw a video that Carlos made and I thought, this is it, we're home. And we dove in less than 15 minutes of looking at this and just made the decision from day one that we were never, ever, ever going to go back to where we were 2 years ago. So, you know, it really is, it's such a decision that you need to make. You really need to know why you started this, and it has to be strong enough to propel you and to push you every single day, because you're not going to have great results every single day. You're not going to have great conversation every single day. Sometimes you're going to get a hater that's just going to piss you off, and you know better. We all know better. No, don't listen to the haters, because that's, you know, whatever. But sometimes you're just going to get someone that says that one little thing that gets under your skin. Let them go. Honestly, because they're never going to accomplish what you're going to accomplish. They're never going to see the world the way you see it. They're never going to make an impact in people's lives the way you are by being in this business. This is not just an online business. It's not a weight loss opportunity. It's not whatever. We are literally changing people's lives with the product that we are using and selling. You know, I get messages every single day from people that tell me how CBD oil has changed their life. And it's what drives me. I get a message like that, I get goosebumps. I save them. I save them to my phone. And when I need a reminder, I go back and look and I read them to remind me, you know, how important what we're doing is. It's super important. And you have to remember that time passes, whether we use it to our advantage or not. It's going to pass. So you might as well make the most of it and stick with it and believe in yourself enough to know that 1 year from now, you're going to look back and you are not going to recognize where you were to where you are right now. I mean, it's just, you really, really just have to believe in yourself and know without a shadow of a doubt, you're surrounded by the greatest people, the greatest leaders, the best training, hands down, that I've ever seen is right here in this company. If you think you're going to leave here and go to a different online business and do better there, I'm telling you, I don't believe it. I really don't. But do you want to jump in at any point?
Yeah, well, I just wanted
to
to
go
tell
clean myself up.
a little quick story. This guy, Matt Morris, he's a famous author. He talks about a Chinese bamboo tree. Now, a Chinese bamboo tree, you plant your seeds, right? Put the seeds in the ground, you water it, you fertilize it. A year goes by, nothing's happening, okay? But you have to continue to be consistent, water it, fertilize it, nurture it. 2 years goes by, nothing is happening. Still just dirt and some weeds. Maybe you got to pick some weeds, get them out of the way. So 3 years, still nothing. It takes 5 years for that to break ground. And once it does, in 6 weeks, it grows up to 90 feet. So you have to, if you stay consistent, if you didn't water this thing and nurture it, it would die. It would just be dead. So if you're consistent with that, just like your business, if you are consistent, you're building a foundation, you're building the roots underground right now, even though you don't see it happening, but it's happening. And I'm not saying this business takes 5 years, but what I'm saying is that as long as you're consistent and you keep going and pushing forward, you're not seeing what's going on, but you are eventually going to see it break ground and it's going to take off for you. So.
Yeah, because I mean, people are following you, even if you don't know that they're following you. So many people reach out to me. They'll send me a message, a messenger, and he'll say to me, "Who is that?" And I'm like, I have no idea. And they'll tell me, "I've been following you forever." And I've never heard from them. They've never commented. I've never spoken to them. And the first time that I'm hearing from them is when they're saying to me, "I've been following you for 2 years. I want to join your team." I got goosebumps because there are people that whatever your story is,
silent followers.
Yes, because there are people out there that they know, Jenny, they're living your story. Loretta, they're living your story. Rosa, they're living your story. So you may think that, you know, this isn't worth me telling because it's a sad story. You know, it's worth telling. There are others out there that are living your life right now. They need to know.
Thousands out there.
Yeah,
actually.
for sure. They need to see that there's hope. They need to know that there are people out there that feel them, that get them. Like when I get somebody that reaches out to me, like I feel them, I get it, I know the pain. So, you know, for every single one of you, there are people out there that have experienced your pain, and whether it was in the past or whether it's right now, they need to hear from you, and they need to see you, and they need to know that there's hope. And that is the best gift you can give to anybody. Honestly, I mean, when we had joined our initial business online, we didn't have this. We didn't have somebody telling us, you got this, you're going to be okay. Had we had that, forget it. We would have like hit the moon by now, you know. We didn't have that. Everything we did on our own. So you guys are so fortunate and blessed that you get to have this all week long. Each leader has a time that they Zoom and bring their team out. And so you really are very fortunate to be able to have that and have people that say, hey, I got you. Like, don't worry. You had a bad day. It's all right. Through the internet, I'm giving you a big hug, and I love you, and let's go, and we're going to make today a better day. And that's the best thing that you can do for the people that are on your team and the people that are following you, is just let them know how important they are to you, how much you understand where they're at. You will be the most successful when you build a team that knows that you love them and that you care for them. And that's it. That's my shtick for today.
Wow. You guys, I apologize. I didn't realize you all had moved to Florida. So see, I learned something new today, and that was really I knew a little bit of your story. But that was phenomenal. I hope you guys caught some of the key things that they were talking about there. You know, the stay in the course. I love that Chinese bamboo story. It is, people just don't realize that anything and everything you do in your life requires that nurturing, requires that sowing, that watering, that weeding, doing all of those things for you to get that final harvest. And that final harvest may take 3 days. That final harvest may take 3 years. It may take 5 years. It doesn't matter. I love what you guys were saying about, you know, you need to get that vision, that passion, that commitment, because there are going to be ups and downs. You know, a lot of you look at myself, Jay and Michelle and Carlos and Don and Troy and the leaders and Tara and so forth, and Aaron and Robert, and you think, oh yeah, well, you guys, you know, you just had instant success. And, you know, so I've been doing this for 40 years. It took me 40 years to have the success. The difference between us and a lot of other people is the commitment and the consistency and the desire to make this happen no matter what. Because there's always going to be the what. There's always going to be those things that we encounter. So, wow, Michelle and Jay, what a powerful, powerful story. And loving on your team. You know, that's where it's really all at. Because you can become a master recruiter and have to jump from team to team, from company to company to company, because all you can do is recruit. And that becomes unduplicatable and it becomes unsustainable. Or you can become a great recruiter or a good recruiter and an amazing team builder. And the people that become amazing team builders and understand how to develop that community, that culture, that team and family are the ones that make the big bucks, are the ones that create a legacy for their families and for their family to come. So what I'd like to do before, do you guys have some time we can open up for questions, Michelle?
Yeah,
okay.
definitely.
But before I do that, I have, you know, I can never not give Carlos a few minutes. You know, the guy, he's always got such words of wisdom. So.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm going to keep mine real nice and brief because we want to honor our guests here because they're giving I took a ton of notes here. Amazing. Thank you, guys. So much value. Thank you so much for coming here to speak to our team, our family. And I just see us as just one big happy family. You know, I wish all the teams were like that, you know, but I'm glad we found camaraderie with you and Tara Scary and, you know, some of the other teams. So thank you for joining us here. It's an honor and a blessing. But folks, so here's the one message that just came through loud and clear. And I did a little bit of a live about it yesterday. And it was a video that I had seen from Jay Shetty, right? And he goes on to say, you know, I've never seen a strong person with an easy past. I'm going to repeat that. I've never seen a strong person with an easy past. There's no such thing, right? So many of us are going through struggles, and we want you to know that you're not alone. All right. That was like, you are not alone. You're going to get through it. Right. You just need to continue to do the little things every day, because that's the story of the bamboo, right? The growing bamboo. You do it every day, every day, every day. And, you know, sometimes we tend to get impatient. Like, oh, man, I've been doing this now for a month, 6 months, a year. When is this going? When am I going to reap a harvest? Right. The harvest will come. And it reminds me, like, this is one of my favorite Bible scriptures, right? Galatians 6:9, right? And what does Galatians 6:9 say? Let us not be weary in doing good. All right, let us not be weary in doing good. For if you continue, right? If you continue, where is this at? Let me see here. Yep. For if you continue to work at it and cultivate at it, you will reap a harvest in due time. Here's the key word. If you don't give up. How many times do we hear our leaders, right? From Ron Deering, right? Jay and Michelle Puco, Tara Scary, right? Aaron Parker, Robert Hollis, they all say the same thing. The only way you can fail is if you give up. That is it. So today you have all made a decision that I am not giving up. I am in this for the long run. Okay, and I want to tell you that you're all worthy, no matter what struggle you've been through, right? And we've all been through them, some more than others. Okay, but you are all worthy here. All right, you are children of the Most High God, and right, and here's the thing, you just got to be faithful to the little things. Be faithful to the little things, as Robert Hollis likes to say, master the mundane. All right, because right now you're going through a tough time, but it's not always going to be like that. If you stay consistent, you stay plugged into the teams, as Michelle said, get to the trainings like you're doing now, right? Eventually, you're going to reap a harvest as long as you do not give up. And that is the key, right? That is the key. So we believe in you, and we love you so much. We are here we have an amazing, amazing family. I mean, I have not met a single person here that has not been willing to help you out, lend a helping hand. We are all here for one another. We believe in you. The thing you got to do is, when you are away from the meetings, right, you got to be good to yourself, and you got to be faithful to yourself and faithful to your business, right? Because at the end of the day, it comes down to really just one thing. How many new people did I reach out to today about our miracle oil? That's it, right? That's all it comes down to. That is the number one thing that you need to track. How many people did I reach out today about a miracle? Who did I help today? And ask God every morning, God, put someone in my path whom I can help, and come from that mindset. And trust me that he will put people in your path that you can help. All right. I believe in you. I love you. I'll give it back to you. Thank you so much, Ron. Thank you, Jay and Michelle.
Awesome. 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 All right. So who has, now look at this. I'm adding somebody to the panel here, Ksenia, and she's in Charlotte right now. I just saw a picture on her Facebook with Aaron. She is in Charlotte at the convention, at the road show. You know, Michelle said this in the beginning. All 44 of you people, 43 not counting me, that have taken the time out of your Saturdays on a beautiful July. I don't know where you're at, but in North Idaho, it's a beautiful day today. I'm sure in Florida, it's a beautiful day. Darn it. Michelle, Jay, we've replaced your palm trees with evergreens, but it's kind of cool. This shows your dedication and your commitment to becoming better you, because that's what it's really all about at the end of the day. You know, we've all heard the saying that network marketing is a personal development program that we get paid for. And that's what it's all about. Every single day you work on becoming a little bit better of person that you are, which allows you then to attract better and better people, because you're becoming gooder and gooder and gooder. So let's open it up. Does anybody have a question for this amazing power couple?
Mm-hmm.
Just unmute yourself and shout it out.
All right. Hey, Jay, Michelle, I got a quick question for you. So you guys, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Yeah, we're good? Okay.
Yep.
So you talked about what you were going through and how rough it was. I mean, for one, you know, that situation with the business, you know, and number two, having someone that you trusted, a business partner, like, I mean, that is a kick in the gut and a half, right? Take us what you were going through, like, and then financially, because I mean, I know I would have been stressed out, like, oh my goodness, what do we do now for money? So take us, like, how deep and dark that was for you and what you did to, like, man, just hang on, just get through it day by day. Take us through that, please, if you can.
He's trying to make you guys cry. I mean, I'm just telling you.
I don't even know if I can because I'm crying just listening to the question. Whew. All right. So, listen, there are worse things in life for sure. You know, bad health, losing someone you love. And I went through that too. So I know that trumps everything. But, wow. You know, I never did personal development. I never read those kind of books before I started working online. So for me, it was, you know, first you're in shock and you're like, oh my God, like, what do we do?
And there was panic.
Yeah. Then there's sheer panic, you know, and then you're like, okay, well, we have, you know, this amount of money, it could get us this far. We have to make something happen before that point. And as the months are passing, you know, you're seeing it, like the numbers just are not working. And this is just like being totally honest. If you went back and you looked at the numbers, there is no way we should have made it through that time. The numbers just don't work. And I just always say it's the hand of God is really what kept us going. It was brutal. And I'm going to try to say this without really falling apart, but I remember my daughter waking up Christmas morning and she was, 8 or 9 at the time? And she came into the room, she's like, Mom, Santa didn't come. It was heartbreaking. You know, it's just, you have to, at some point though, you have to, I mean, I rolled backwards for so many months. It was just so hard to because at first you're just like, I can't believe that somebody that we knew and loved and trusted could do this to people, you know, especially that we had children. I mean, we had 6 children. So, I mean, it was just devastating. And like I said, thank God we all have good health because there's nothing more important than that. But for that moment, at that time, nothing else mattered except how are we going to keep our family going. And so it was incredibly painful, and it was a real task. And so, you know, we have so many people, you know, that we talk to and on our team that, you know, they come to me and they say, I'm struggling or I'm hurting or financially things are not good. And I give them every moment of time that they want from me because I've been there and I know. So you talk. I can't talk.
Well, all I'm going to say is that the same daughter that said that, however many years ago,
yes,
recently said that she was very happy that all happened because we wouldn't be where we are now. So that was pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, because we started reading The Magic, you know, when we joined our last online thing. And so I literally have books and books and books because I did that book like 5 times consecutively. I was like, I need to change the vibe. I need to change what I'm bringing to me. I learned very quickly on that it's all in here, and that's how you change. So I started reading all kinds of books. Anything that somebody recommended, I ran out. I have a library of books like that. And so we started with our family because this is just the God's honest truth. We were grateful for whatever we had. Forget about what we don't have. Let's just be grateful for what we have. So were we eating dinner tonight? Yes. So we're grateful for the meal that we're about to eat. We're grateful that the electric is still on. We're grateful that, you know, we have a car to get around in. That's a whole other story. But anyway, so every night and still to today, when we sit down at dinner, we do our gratefuls and we go around the table and we all say what we're grateful for. And that's a true story. Isabella, it was probably more like a couple of months ago. She said, I'm grateful that that so-and-so took the business out from under us. And I was like this, what? Like, has this kid lost her marbles? And I said, really? I said, why is that? And she said, because we would never be where we are today if that didn't happen. And I thought, that is the smartest 11-year-old I know, because she actually watched Jay and I go through this transformation of being so devastated to finding all of the good that we could in the world every single day. And she actually knew that this was a much better place because she's learned to look at things from a positive point of view. And let me tell you, I mean, did they have everything they needed? Yes. Did they barely have everything they needed in that time? Yes. Because you guys know what happens. You roll backwards 6 months, you just roll backwards 2 years. It takes forever to pull yourself out of that. So that 6 months of scrambling took a very long time to get ourselves back on our feet. So there was, I need this for school. I need that for school. I need a new backpack. I'm like, oh my God, why can't you just use the one you used last year? Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I'll wash it up. We'll make it look new. She's like, Mom, I really need a new one. You know, this one's falling apart or whatever. So, you know, so we made it work. You know, we went and grabbed a cheap backpack, you know, something just to get started. And the thing was that we always know as long as we keep moving forward, things will keep getting better. So let's buy this backpack for now. And I know it's going to fall apart because it's falling apart before even using it. Let's just get that for now, because I know that in 2 or 3 months, I'll be able to go out and get you a better one or another one. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, once you change your mindset and you know that you really are in control. See, I felt so out of control. I think that's the best way to say it. I felt so out of control that somebody else had so much power over my life, not realizing that I really allowed him that power by me sinking and landing on the kitchen floor, you know, for the day one day. You know, that was all in my power to stay there or not stay there. So I'll never, ever give anybody that power again, ever. Like, nobody will ever have that power. You know, my life is in my control, good and bad. It's by our doing. You know, and I'll never allow anybody that power to affect me in that way, you know, because now I know that they can't unless I allow it. And so I'll never allow it again.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Folks, thank you. Thank you so much for that, Jay and Michelle. That is amazing. Folks, who connected right now with Jay and Michelle? Raise your hand. Who? All right. Okay, folks, a couple of things. I got it, man, 2 huge value bombs from what they just said. Number one, all right, number one is this. You're not alone, right? They were down in the dumps. They went through this, all right? But if you look at this, one of the last things that Michelle said was she decided to not give that person power anymore. So something has happened in each one of our lives that we've been wronged, right? Maybe we got an abusive spouse. We lost a sibling. We went through a divorce. Whatever the case may be, if we're stuck where we're at, many times it's because we continue to give them that power. You got to take it back. You've got to take it back and do not let yourself be stuck in there. Free yourself, free that person, and free yourself, right? Give it back to God, and that's it. And you just move forward and do what you got to do. Another thing, super duper important, man. Oh my goodness, this is what's going to take you from being stuck to booming in whatever it is that you decide to do, whether it's this business or anything in life. And that is this. Your story connects with people. All right? You see how we just connected with Jay and Michelle? Your hurt, your pain. Some of us have been abused. Some of us have been divorced. Some of us have lost loved ones. Some have gone through disease. Some have had major financial setbacks. That is your key, your connection. If you're too ashamed, if you're too embarrassed to say it, that's just the devil speaking, because he doesn't want you to speak the truth. Speak the truth. Like, for example, just a few days ago, I posted my income online, and I've always pretty much posted it all the time, right? But I never really posted that, hey, you know what, not too long ago, I went through Chapter 7 bankruptcy. I was in foreclosure. And with all the other ones, I just kept them playing. Hey, man, so happy, you know, for these amazing paydays. And I got some reaction to it, not a whole lot. But all of a sudden, I put that I came from foreclosure, right? Embarrassing, shameful. I came from bankruptcy, embarrassing, shameful. People connected to that. It is your pain and your hurt that connects to people. Do not be ashamed to share that. That is your connection. You want to impact people, because we all want to impact people and help out people and become more attractive to people, to help them. We all have that desire to help people, but you can't help them if you keep your failures and your shames hidden. Let them out into the light. Get them out of the darkness and into the light, because that's where the help is at. That's where Jesus is at, and that's how you're going to help people and make an impact. And I'm telling you, your business will transform overnight if you do this consistently every single day. Because just like we connected with Jay and Michelle right now, there's not a single person here that's not watching, did not connect. I got a big lump in my throat. Some tears came down my eyes, right? Because we connect with that. That is your key. Share your connection with your hurt, your pain, because you are going to help people. Because guess what? Those of you that have gone through divorces, those of you that have had financial setbacks, those of you that have been abused, only you can help those people. No one else can help them. So don't stay silent no more. Share your story, your uniqueness, your authenticity, because that's where your power is. And do not give anyone else that power anymore. Awesome. Michelle, Jay, Michelle, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. So anybody getting anything out of this at all? Just maybe a little bit. Phenomenal stuff. You know, and it's reality. You know, we talk about this all the time. You want to build a huge business, you need to become an amazing storyteller. Because if any of you noticed what just happened, Jay and Michelle told their story, and there was hardly a dry eye in the audience here. Okay? Now, what are you going to remember if I come to you a week from now, a month from now, and say, hey, you remember that training we did where Jay and Michelle were on there? What do you remember? I guarantee you 98% of you are going to say that amazing story. They're not going to remember that Jay was wearing the same color shirt that I'm wearing. They're not going to remember that. You know? They may not even, like me, remember they're from Florida, but they're going to remember the story because of the emotion that's tied to it, because of the emotion that it drew in every single one of us. We all got dusty. That's what we call it in our house. It's dusty. My wife and I look at each other when we're watching a movie and saying, it's getting dusty. No, it's not. It's not dusty in here. It's my eyes itch. That's it. My eyes itch. Right. So very, very true.
Could I say something to Michelle?
Go ahead, Jason.
Are you guys are on the outstanding, one of the from Robert Hollis? I think he was doing dreamscaping with you guys.
Oh, you broke
Yeah,
up.
Jason, you're really broken up.
Okay. Is it any better now?
Yep.
I think you guys were on one of the outstanding trainings with Robert Hollis, maybe from a year ago, and he's talking about dreamscaping with you guys. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
So you guys were in New York then? And
No, we were in Florida.
We were still in Florida.
You were? Okay. Well, I think he's even mentioning like $500 on credit cards, and I don't know if you guys are just playing along for the training, but you seem like you guys were really going through it then. And I would say like even your physical appearance is different now. And just congratulations and thank you guys for sharing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I do.
Cut off again.
Try to say it again.
I think you froze.
Sorry.
There you go.
I'll go ahead and go. Anyway, it was inspiring. Thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You know
Are you guys in Florida now or in New York?
No, we stayed in Florida.
Okay, that's okay. I got that. Yeah.
I just want to touch on what he just said because he's really 100% correct. So we started online, and like I said, like everybody that we met always like, you know, you guys are so happy. And like I said, we were, because we had hope, and we knew that there was a way we were working towards, you know, better financial situation, but everything else around us changed. Our mental state changed, our drive, our determination, our hope, all of that changed. And so we became happy broke people instead of just miserable broke people. So I know what he's talking about with Robert. I remember doing that with Robert. And, you know, yeah, I mean, we were still in it because we were investing a ton of money every month into that other business, like hundreds and thousands of dollars. So it was a huge investment every month to keep that business running. And so even though we were growing and doing well, we were investing a lot of money to it. So as we were making money, we were reinvesting it. And so we never really got like to a great point there because it took a lot of money to run it. So when we started here, yeah, we were still, you know, not like we were when we first started out online, but definitely like as far as the financial end of it wasn't that much better because Jay was working, I was working, and we were trying to get this other online thing going. So we were investing a lot of money. And there's a lot of people on here that know what I'm talking about. And so they know the kind of money that was being put into it. So yeah, so when we started here, you know, I was like, $69, $20 to get started, under $100. I see what's possible. We knew a little bit about CBD because I had started following it from like 2 years ago, trying to decide, like, you know, we knew that it was up and coming. We just didn't know where we wanted to get involved. So, you know, we would, you know, look at different stocks and stuff, but neither one of us know a shit about stocks. So we were like, I'm a little afraid to go that route. And then when this came up, we were like, this is just it, you know, $100, and you're talking about $69 a month to keep it going. Like no brainer, you know, especially that we knew and trusted in the product. So yeah, so that's really when things started to change for us, is once we joined this business. And I'm going to tell you guys this. I mean, you guys saw like how devastated we were. This year we went to Texas in January for a family get together. Then we went to New York. Then we went to Nashville. Then we went to New York. Then we went to the Orlando Roadshow. We just did our team cruise, and we have our stuff together to go to Vegas for a convention. So talk about a world of difference in less than a year. That is what's possible. And I don't know if you have to throw any kind of disclaimers in there. So I'm not saying that everybody will do it. I'm just saying that everybody can do it. So, you know, whatever your vacation is, get it on the calendar and then make sure you get there, because there's no excuses. You absolutely can do it.
Now, if you guys have been listening to what Michelle and Jay have been saying, there's a common thread here. There's something that you hear us talk about on our training. You hear Robert talk about. You hear Aaron and the Popas talk about. You hear everybody talk about it. And I know you get to the point where you're going, oh no, not the M word. I know. Oh, not the M word. Oh, you know, it's too. And I guess part of the M word is 4 letters, but it's all about mindset. Right. After listening to Michelle tell the story and what was, going through in their life and everything, it always kept coming back to things changed when, we started getting up every day and becoming grateful. It's a mindset change. Things started to change. We decided to make some decisions. That's a mindset change. We decided to take control and not let anybody else take control. That's a mindset thing. I never heard her say, we learned how to do Facebook ads. We memorized a bunch of scripts and started messaging people. It's not that those things aren't important and everything in your business, but this whole conversation, this whole story is based on mindset. Carlos asked an amazing question. How do you get from here to here, right? How do you get from A to B? And A is financially devastated, life devastated, best friend devastates you. How do I get from there to where I am now, taking 5 vacations and living a totally changed life? It was my mindset. Because so many people have bad things happen to them. And those bad things end up defining who they are. Instead of those bad things changing and taking you to new levels of, just like, Isabella said, I'm so glad that stuff happened. That's a hard place to be, right? Because some people go through some, I know people on this call today have gone through some things that are horrendous. But you can't let it define you, right? It's got to be that thing that makes you stronger in life. And then it takes you to, and it all becomes up here in your mindset. I know, for me, once I got drafted during Vietnam. And when I got out of the service, I remember telling people, I'll never live past 40 because of what I'd gone through and what I experienced and everything. And then I ended up going back in the service. And I'd seen things and have seen things that most people would, to puke, throw up, devastate their lives. But someone along the line taught me that it's all about what's upstairs. It's all about my mindset and how I can change how I feel and how I am and who I get through. And what Michelle and Jay taught you, or should have taught you again today, is who you are is a series of events and choices that you make in your life. We all get hit with life, right? Some people react to that and some people respond to it. If you can learn to respond to what happens to you, meaning that you take the time to understand it, to learn from our failures, to learn from what life is dishing out and respond to it and get better at it, you end up having the successful life. Now, I know that when I see Michelle and Jay again in Vegas, they're going to be 100K affiliates. We're going to be sitting at the table with Carlos and myself and so many others, and we're going to be sitting at those VIP tables at the 100K level and having an amazing, amazing time. There's no reason why any of the rest of you couldn't be there. There's no reason why any of the rest of you who are no K affiliates right now couldn't be 25 and 50K affiliates by then. Can you imagine how many of you here right now, if I told you that you had the opportunity to add an extra $2,000 a month to your income, would that change your lives? Anybody? Right? Wayne's smiling so big that, it's right. Well, let's just say, an extra $1,000 a month. Would an extra $1,000 a month change your lives? Right? I love Raymond. He's like, yes, man, I am there. And as long as I got my brace on, I can do that. That's really cool. Well, what they just told you, the story that they just told you, is your path to getting there, whatever your story is. And I don't want to minimize anybody's story in that, but your story is your story. I can't change that. Nobody can change my story. I can't change anybody else's story. What you do with your story is the choice that you make. They chose to take their story and turn it into an amazing success story. And it's not even begun. It's not even begun. We all have that same choice. So you wanna, a lot of times on our trainings, we talk about the nitty gritty, the meat and potatoes of, I push this button, I copy, I paste, I send this message out, I do this. And we go through all of that stuff and we think that's so very important. And it is. You need to know those kind of things. And those things are, things that are just the mechanics. But where the real success comes in your business, where the real legacy that you build in your business is when it goes from your head to your heart, and the passion and the commitment and the consistency and the mindset changes. And all of a sudden, it doesn't even cross your mind anymore that there's an option to quit. The only option you have is, okay, today I get better. Today I become a better me. Today I become a better Sue, better Dee, better Raymond, better Jedediah, better Jane, better Daniel, better Liz, better Jen, better Jesse, better Mike, right? Today I become a better me. My business will become better. Michelle and Jay, are you direct to Tara? Okay.
Yes.
You're direct to Tara. You know why they're direct to Tara? because they respected and trusted Tara.
Absolutely.
Right? Tara grew her life, single mom, mother of two, grew her life into such a place that she could attract people like Jay and Michelle. That's all it is. She took the personal growth to a level where Jay and Michelle respected, know, like, and trusted her, and decided to hook their little red wagon to hers. You want to know how you get a Jay and Michelle in your business? Become a better whoever you are so that you attract those kind of people. How did I attract Carlos? Well, Carlos and I were friends. But we've talked about this 100 times, and we talked about it once. We both knew, trusted, and respected each other. If he thought I was a crook or someone that, wouldn't lead him, he couldn't follow, this would have never happened. Right? So when we tell you that this business is a extremely amazing personal growth development program that you get paid for and you can get paid really good for, we're not just saying that. Jay and Michelle are an incredible example of that. Of people, and one of the things that she said was, when she was in Enagic, or whatever that other company was, did I say that? When she was in that other company that cost a lot of magic, but anyway, when they were in the other company, before that, and I know very little about that company except for one thing, what I just heard them say, and I've heard Tara say too before. Before they were in that company, Michelle didn't really, personal growth, what is all that about? They got in that company, and all of a sudden that whole personal growth, personal development thing came into play, right? They started learning to become better them. So I did not expect this, but this is amazing. Michelle, go ahead.
I want to say one thing. So when we started there, as we built our team, the very first thing that we told them when they joined our team was that they had to go out and they could have got it new, used from the library, wherever they wanted. You Are a Badass and The Magic. Every single person that joined our team read those two books. Every single person on our team read those two books. If you've never read personal development, yes. And actually, and that's funny that you hold that book up, because when Jay and I joined, of course, we jumped right into watching Robert's trainings because we were in the vision team. And I watched, it was a 2.5 hour training that Robert had done. And I watched it like this. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen, right? And then I rewatched it because I paused it and I wrote down that book because he spoke about that book. That was the first time I had seen that book. I paused it. I wrote down the name of the book. I jumped online. I ordered it. And then I went back and watched that 2.5 hours of training again and took, 6 pages of notes. So, if you're a coach, your upline,
right.
Yes. If they recommend a book, you got to read it. It's only going to help you feel and be better than the person you were yesterday. And I'm telling you, we don't do it so much with this team because I think that there is a lot of personal development and everybody kind of finds their book that they like. But in our last team, every single person, You Are a Badass and The Magic. And we built a really nice big team there. So it's definitely super important to start somewhere. And if you don't know where to start, ask somebody, what's the best book to start with? I liked You Are a Badass because it was an easy read. And for somebody that had never read anything before, there was humor and a whole lot of golden nuggets in there. I mean, I literally have pages and pages and pages of things that I took out of that book. So it's a great place to start. But Greatest Miracle in the World, fabulous. I couldn't put it down. I think I read that in like 2 days. Lots of good stuff out there. So if you don't know where to start, just ask somebody because you can get a ton of recommendations, I'm sure.
Absolutely. In fact, these are the two that I would recommend too. Greatest Miracle by Og Mandino, Greatest Miracle in the World, and The Science of Getting Rich.
Yes.
That's a great one.
Both two amazing books that will, take your, and guess what? They're like really thin. Okay, I gave this to mine is really worn, and I gave it to my wife to read. They're just amazing books. So, wow, this has been phenomenal. I had no idea what you guys were going to come to us with. I knew it was going to be amazing. Everybody gets something out of this today. Kind of understand. I know we hear about mindset all the time, and I was of that mindset where every time someone said we're going to talk about mindset, I'm like, oh no, not mindset. Oh no, somebody save me. And then you'd see my camera go off, and I was really there, but no, I wasn't. I was messaging people that it's mindset. Okay, I don't want to talk about, but over the years, I can tell you that it's made a difference in this business alone. Okay, and I'll leave you with this. In this business alone, where I've come in the last 12 months, and what we're doing, and the lives we're changing, and the lives we're impacting, and where I see this team going, where I see this company going. I will tell you, you listen to Jenna's trainings, you listen to Michelle and Jay, you listen to Tara, you listen to Carlos, you listen to Robert Hollis, you listen to the leaders in this company, and listen to what the theme that they have on every single time they talk. And I guarantee you there'll always be something in there about your mindset. Always. No matter what they're talking about. I've seen the Garzas start talking about, the technical side of, doing this, and it always seems to come right back to, but you have to have the right mindset. Because no matter how much of the mechanics something's got to keep you going. Something's got to be the fuel, the petrol that keeps you going every single day. No matter if you're driving a Maserati or a Tesla or a Volkswagen Beetle, something has to be the fuel, and that fuel is your mindset. And if you're not continually feeding that fuel into your system, into your business, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to struggle. You're going to end up pushing and pedaling instead of driving. So, all right. Anybody else got one last thing? I know we're a little bit after the hour here.
Hey, Ron, I just want to say one more thing, folks. And as Ron mentioned earlier, so Robert Hollis has his free training today, the Tribe training, that starts in about less than 45 minutes. Free. RobertHollis.com. If you scroll up, as a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and copy it just in case. This one is free. The other one is the one where he charges $19 a month. If you can afford the $19 a month, I would get that one because you get both of them in there. Okay. But the one that's coming up right now in about 40 minutes, it's free, and it's just RobertHollis.com. Sign up for free. I just posted it in there. I just in the chat as well. Click on that. You're more than welcome to join. Again, Robert Hollis. Ron and I would say the Pucos as well, because I see them on there all the time. We would not be where we are today if we were not for, obviously, God first, but Robert Hollis. I mean, I'm telling you, he's made a big, big, big difference in our life. I mean, the person I was in June when I joined this, I'm a completely different person. And thanks to Robert. Thanks, obviously, to Ron Deering and Pucos as well. A lot of people, but Robert Hollis played a big, big role in that. So if you never joined his Tribe training, you have a chance to check it out today. It starts in 40 minutes, and I just posted the link, RobertHollis.com. It's free. Thank you so much.
I mean, really, look at my shirt. Do I watch Robert Hollis or what? I mean, come on. I had somebody tell me the other day, ask me if I was related. And I said, well, why do you think that I would be related? My name's Ron Deering. Well, because you wear the same shirts. Is that possible? Can you be related to somebody by the clothing you wear? I don't know. I want to say, I typically, in fact, I got a shirt that looks exactly like Jay. I got one. I normally wear those shirts. I only wear these periodically. I normally wear T-shirts. I've got a red T-shirt that's the same exact color. But as much as I'd like to say, Jay and I are not related. So, all right, everybody, God bless you all. Jay and Michelle, man, I cannot thank you enough. This has been recorded. It's on our Facebook, the Deering Dream Team Facebook group. If any of you are, by the way, I want to open this up to you. If any of you are on the Jay and Michelle's team, and I know some of you, a lot of you are, and you want to be a part of the Daring Dream Team Facebook group, we're just like the Vision Team. Just reach out. Be sure to answer the question that you're on Jay and Michelle's team, so I know that. Just reach out to the Daring Dream Team group. In fact, Carlos, if you wouldn't mind helping me just put that link to the Facebook group there.
Yep, I'm about to do it right now, Ron. Thank you so much.
I thought you might. I always want to think I get to him first, but I don't. You know, it's like for those of you who go to Robert House, like Craig, he's my Craig Jackman. He's on top of this stuff. But feel free to join. We do. There's just a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of things in the files. There's a lot of videos in the units and stuff. Again, the Daring Dream Team and the Messenger bot. You guys are all very, very welcome. Again, Michelle and Jay, I can't thank you enough. I'm so glad that I reached out to you. I'm so glad that you said yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you guys
for having
so
us.
much for
I hope
having
that
us.
we helped you guys a little bit, even through the tears and all.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. So God bless everybody. I hope to see a lot of you on the Robert House training in about 35 or so minutes. So God bless you all and have an amazing weekend. Get your orders in. Reach out to your team. Let's make the middle of the month a hump instead of a dip, okay? All right.
Yes.
God bless you all.
God bless you. Thank you, Jay and Michelle. Love you guys. Thank you, everyone.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Thanks to my team. You guys rock.
Love you guys.
Thanks, Jay and Michelle.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Hi.